This might sound uncomfortable at first, but it's important to say it clearly. Most people don't use counseling to feel, they use it to actually avoid feeling. Not intentionally, not consciously, but subtly and over time. They talk about their emotions instead of letting emotions actually happen. They explain, they analyze, they make connections, they stay articulate. And on the surface, it looks like good therapy, but nothing changes. Because insight slowly becomes a way of staying in control instead of a path towards change. Talking is safe, talking is familiar, talking keeps things organized. Feeling is different. Feeling is unpredictable. Feeling involves the body. Feeling brings uncertainty. So it makes sense that people lean into words. And therapy can accidentally encourage this. Sessions become about telling the story better, understanding it more deeply, finding the right explanation. But healing doesn't happen when the explanation improves. Healing happens when a nervous system has a different experience. And that usually requires less talking, not more. This is where people get confused. They think, I'm doing everything right. I'm reflecting, I'm self aware. And they are. But self awareness alone doesn't regulate emotion, it just describes it. So people leave sessions feeling mentally clear, but emotionally unchanged. And eventually they start thinking therapy isn't working. What's actually happening is that therapy is staying in the head while the problem lives in the body. Insight works with thought, change requires regulation. And regulation doesn't come from explaining feelings, it comes from staying with them long enough for the system to learn something new. That's why some of the most important moments in therapy are quiet ones. Moments where nothing is being explained, nothing is being analyzed, nothing is being fixed. Just noticed. But those moments can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to coping by thinking. So people talk their way past them. They fill the space, they stay articulate, they stay safe. And therapy becomes a place where emotions are discussed but never actually experienced. That's not a personal failure, it's a learned strategy. And it makes sense if feeling was once overwhelming or unsupported. So here's a small shift that matters. The next time you're talking about something emotional, whether in therapy or on your own, pause just briefly. Notice what your body is doing in that moment, your breath, your jaw, your shoulders, your chest. You don't need to explain anything. That pause is often where the real work begins because change doesn't come from saying the right thing, it comes from letting your system experience that it can stay present without something going wrong. If this has helped, save this episode. You may want to come back to it and follow the podcast for daily practical counseling insights.